Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video on how I weaned my daughter Penelope. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Chelsea. I am a first-time mom to a almost 15-month-old baby girl named Penelope. And I do motherhood related content on this channel, as well as a little bit of lifestyle, a little bit of style, things like that. So if you're interested in those kind of things, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram for more content like that. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Just a little disclaimer before we get into the video. I am not a lactation consultant. I am not an expert. I'm just a first-time mom trying to figure it all out. So do what you want with this information. I guess just use it as like a little inspo if you're trying to figure out what to do or how to wean your baby. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I breastfed Penelope, little background. I breastfed Penelope from, day one pretty much. I only had to use formula very briefly in the hospital because she was very tiny. If you want to know all the details, I'll link my labor delivery story up on the screen for you guys to check out. But basically she was small, so I had to give her some formula in the meantime until my milk really came in and I could actually pump enough for her to take from a bottle. And then once that happened and she was gaining some weight, I was actually able to, breastfeed more. And then once we got home from the hospital, it was pretty much like second nature to her and I, which was awesome. It wasn't super comfortable where I was like just walking around with a baby on my boob and I felt like a total G. It wasn't that. It was like I needed the boppy and I needed a burp cloth and I needed all these things with me to make me feel okay while I was nursing her. But it went really well and I have to say we've had a really beautiful, amazing journey with breastfeeding. I wouldn't trade it for the world. My birth plan didn't go as I wanted it to go or as planned. So like I'm so happy that this part of my motherhood journey, or like my plan, I guess, went how I wanted it to go. So I ended up nursing Penelope until she was 12 and a half months old. So at about, I want to say like 11, 12 months, I dropped a nursing session. So this is my first tip for you guys. My first tip is to drop a nursing session that is the easiest nursing session to drop. Felt like that was a mouthful. So basically our easiest nursing session to drop that she didn't really care about was the morning nursing session. Instead of nursing her in the morning, what I did was I just grabbed her right from her crib, changed her diaper, yada, yada, brought her into our, living room, hung out with her for a few, and then just gave her breakfast right away. And that way it was kind of like, all right, whatever. Like she just didn't really care about the first nursing session. So for me, it was easy to drop that one. So that's one tip. Try to drop try to drop a nursing session that they don't really care about. Now, of course, there's babies that care about all of them and they, want that one nursing session that you want to drop or whatever. Usually there's one that's kind of like, all right, I'm over this. Like, I don't really need this anymore. And that's kind of how I started. So I dropped that one nursing session and then I didn't replace it with milk or anything yet because she couldn't have milk until she was 12 months old. And I wasn't doing formula. That was one of my goals and reasons why I wanted to nurse so long, was because I wanted her to just be able to pass the formula, like not take formula and just do breast milk. So I didn't give her any milk, just water, gave her breakfast, and she was fine with that. So that was like a good month or like a month, I'd say, at least a month before I started to really wean her. So after that, when she turned 1 year old, she was only nursing with me during the week. If you don't know, little background story really quickly, I'm a full-time working mom, so I send a bottle to the sitter or daycare now, and then at night I would nurse her. So basically, I was only nursing her during the week one time now because I wasn't doing it in the morning and I wasn't with her in the afternoon, so I was only doing it at night. So what I did was I nursed her at night still up until 12 months, and then as soon as she turned 12 months, she was able to get a bottle of milk, so then I kind of just slowly started to do a bottle of breast milk mixed with milk. So this is my next tip for you guys. If you're trying to wean, this is assuming your baby has had a bottle before, because that's a whole other thing. My baby has had bottles since day one, so it didn't, like the bottle wasn't a problem. It was just kind of like a comfort thing, and also like the taste of the milk, because whole milk at first is weird for most babies. So what I did was I did half milk, half breast milk, and I would send that to the sitters, and then, or she would mix it for me, the sitter, and then I would do that at night. I stopped nursing at night. One night I was like, okay, this is our last nursing session. I think it was like a Thursday. And then starting that weekend, I wanted her kind of weaned by Monday. So I mixed half and half. And she still wasn't really feeling it. She would drink it, but it wasn't the amount that she was drinking normally. Like normally she'd have a 5-ounce bottle. She wasn't drinking that much. Basically, I just kept trying. It wasn't like, oh, she's not having it, let me go back and put more breast milk and more. I just left it half and half until she kind of got used to it. And eventually my sitter just put all of the milk in, like whole milk in the bottle, and she drank it and she took it. That took about a week. Every baby's different, but I always get that question, how long did it take? What's your time frame? So that of her going from drinking breast milk and going from breast milk to regular milk took about a week of her trying it, like the transition. As far as like the actual weaning, like from the breast, she didn't really care. The only problem that I had was night feeding. So if you guys have followed my channel for a little bit, I'm just assuming that you know this, but if you didn't, and this isn't the first time you're clicking on me and you just want to know info on how to wean your baby, I nurse Penelope at night when she wakes up. As a comfort, it became our little thing. She still wakes up to this day, even without the nursing. She's just always been a really not great sleeper. I'll just say it like that. So the problem that I felt like we were gonna have with the nursing comforting thing was at night, and we did. So I did start not nursing her that weekend too, because again, I wanted to have her weaned by Monday. So that Thursday was our last nursing session at night. Monday morning comes around, I give her a bottle of milk, and then the afternoon, I gave her a bottle of milk, and then at night, one before bed. And this again it took her a week to get used to it. This was still her kind of trying the half and half milk, but I wasn't nursing. I just said no more after that Thursday time frame, and I did not go back. And I think that's a big important thing. Do not backtrack because they're gonna get confused. So I stopped there, and then like I said, I did her 3 bottles that day, and then at night, that was when I was nervous, that first Friday where I was like, oh my God, she's gonna wake up at night and expect the boob, and I'm not gonna give it to her because now we're trying to wean. Like, that's confusing. She's not getting it during the day, but then she's getting it at night. When she woke up at night, I did not give it to her, and she cried, and it was like a good maybe couple minutes to maybe 5 minutes of crying, and she finally settled down, and I rocked her and I held her. Like, this whole time when she's crying for the boob, I'm not letting her like sit there in the crib cry. I'm just not that kind of cry it out mom. I kind of wish I was because maybe I'd get some sleep at night and whatever, but I'm not. So I pick her up when she cries at night, take her out of the crib, and I was trying to soothe her. Of course, she was like, what are you doing? Just give me the boob. But I would just hold her, rock her, comfort her. It's okay, until she finally calmed down. And that first night, it took about, like I said, 5 minutes. And then I did again the next night, and it was a little shorter of a time, maybe a couple minutes. And then by the 3rd night, she was already expecting like, okay, I guess I'm not getting the boob. And she actually started sleeping through the night, which was mind-blowing. I thought that was gonna be my final, like, my time now where my kid sleeps through the night, because I haven't got that in so long. But she ended up, long story short, she ended up getting up again. After a week, she started waking up again at night. But I never gave her the boob. Moral of the story, or tip for you, don't backtrack, like I said, just keep trying, be consistent. And she basically caught on eventually and was like, all right, like, I'm not getting the boob. So it is what it is. And I would go in there, and I still do it now at almost 15 months old. Go in there, pick her up. As soon as I pick her up, she pretty much stops crying. She just wants that comfort. I sit in the rocking chair with her, I hold her, and then when she's sleeping, I put her back down. Something I did also introduce back to her was her pacifier, just because I felt really bad taking away that nurture, like that comfort, I should say, from her of the boob. And I was like, you know what, if she just has the pacifier at night in her crib, it's not a big deal to me, and I can always take that away later. And so now we still have it in her crib. At first she wasn't into it, but now she likes it when she's like going right to bed. And other than that, she really doesn't care about it. So it works out for us. Just, throwing it out there. If you guys are curious about that, we did give her a pacifier, and I think it did help a little bit. It's just something like extra, little comfort. You can also do something like a Lovey, which we have a couple in her crib, or like a small blanket, just something to give them like some kind of comfort, knowing that they're not going to get that comfort of nursing anymore. Sorry, there's something in my throat. So yeah, so that was that transition, and that was pretty much the 3 things that I did, or the 3 tips that I can kind of relate to you guys. So 1 is to drop that nursing session that you think is the easiest to drop first, and then take it from there. Slowly drop nursing sessions throughout, depending on how many nursing sessions you do. I only had to drop the 2 other ones, which again ended up not being a big deal for me because she wasn't really that attached to it during the day. It was more like an at night thing. So dropping the 2nd and 3rd one was not a big deal, especially because she got a bottle majority of the week from somebody else, and she was only nursing that 1 nursing session with me before bed after I dropped the first one. Then the 2nd tip for you guys is to be consistent. Make sure that you do not backtrack and give up, like keep going, because eventually it will get better and they will catch on. Then my 3rd tip, which, sorry, I don't think I said that in the right order, but my 3rd tip is to try to do half breast milk, half milk. and try to get like a little bit of a balance until you figure out like what they'll actually drink. Again, I didn't feel like doing like, oh, 75% this and 75 or 25%. I just did 50 and 50, and she eventually caught on and it was fine. It didn't take long at all. And so yeah, that was our whole weaning journey with that. Now, very quickly, I want to just touch base on my kind of situation with my boobs. I feel like I didn't have the easiest time with my boobs going back to normal, but it could have been a lot worse. I didn't have engorgement to the like max. Like I did get engorged, but I didn't get like mastitis, clogged ducts, things like that. So what I had to do was keep pumping for a little bit longer just so my boobs could kind of, you know, get a little bit less engorged. So what I had to do was basically pump, but not over pump, because you don't want your body to say, oh, she still needs me to make milk. Let me just keep making milk because it's stimulating your breast to make milk. But you also want to make sure you get some milk out because you are going to get somewhat engorged considering that there's not a baby nursing now to get that milk out. So there has to be a balance. So that's one thing I just want to touch base on quickly for you guys. Balance it out. Be careful with how you're kind of handling that, where you don't want to just say, okay, I'm not nursing anymore, and then just leave your breasts alone unless you feel like they're not getting engorged and they can handle that, then perfect. But if you do feel engorgement, you have to release some of that with either hand expression in the shower, which was a good way for me to do it. I just kind of hand expressed because I was so tired of the stupid pump. Or if I was really engorged, I would pump just for like literally 2-3 minutes just to like let it come out a little bit, and that was it. Again, I'm not trying to signal, oh my God. Signal, holy cow. I'm not trying to signal my body into thinking that I need the milk. I just want to get some of the milk out. So that helped me not become super engorged or uncomfortable. Another really awesome tip that I learned from my sister-in-law, which helped a lot because it took like a good week. That's another thing I'd like to tell you guys. It took about a week for my boobs to go back down to normal. I thought it'd be like a couple days, but no, it took at least a week. And even then after, I still had like some milk. And now I pretty much don't have anything, but you know, I thought it'd be a lot quicker. So back to the tip. The tip that I was going to tell you guys is that my sister-in-law told me to wear really, really tight sports bra, like the tightest one you have. She said that she wore it even in the shower, just so that there was nowhere for the milk to like grow and like, you know, expand in your breast. And that finally stopped my milk because I was like almost a week in and I was like, I don't understand. Like there's still milk. I'm over this. And I think that's pretty normal. Again, I'm not an expert. First time mom, not a lactation consultant, but I was just over it. I was like, I don't want to feel this feeling anymore if I'm not nursing it. I don't want to pump it. I don't want to hand express. So basically wearing a really tight sports bra for like a couple nights in a row and during the day at work stopped my milk. So that was the end of it. And I'm not saying that solely stopped my milk, but that definitely helped end the supply from coming through. So that was how I did that. I think I touched base on everything. I tried to kind of go through it quickly as I could. So if you guys do have questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments area. I'd be happy to answer you guys. I always answer everybody. Or you can always send me a DM on Instagram. I also always DM everybody back. I don't think I've ever not DM'd anybody back, so feel free to do that as well if you'd like. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Click that subscribe button for more videos like this. And I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.